Hi, good afternoon, folks. Bobby Sharma and Yana Epps here with our two upcoming guests that we're going to have at our online meetup at the end of April. We'll give you some details, but I'm really excited to have both Todd and Scott that are going to be presenting to our meetup group in a few weeks. But we wanted to just give you an idea of what they're going to be talking about. So I'll start with Scott. Scott Isaksen is the CEO and owner of TCI Building Services. And Scott, you're based in the Bay Area, correct?
That's correct. I'm here in the East Bay.
Very nice, very nice. So Scott, can you tell us a little bit about what you do currently, and what are some of the topics that you'll be presenting on April 27th for our members?
So currently, TCI Building Services helps property owners make their physical operations a lot more efficient and save a lot of money. Of course, the health crisis we're in, I'm going to touch on some things we can do as operators right now to address problems. And then we'll also look at planning for the future and how to take care of our buildings long term.
Very good. And Scott, real quick, what are some of the changes that you're seeing in the market as far as maintenance and your crew, like being able to go into the units or the buildings and so on? What are some of the cautionary things that people are doing in this environment?
So everybody's hyper cautious. We do have contractors and people we work with that are basically addressing urgent items, and it's really important to communicate both, even if it's an outside person you're working with, communicate with them, make sure that they have safety procedures in place, make sure the residents understand it so that we don't touch on fears on either side, and make sure everybody's safe. So identify if the problem's urgent and needs to be addressed now, make sure people are comfortable on both sides, and then have a plan for those non-urgent items later on.
Makes sense, makes sense. Thank you, Scott. And I know that during the formal presentation, you'll dive a lot more into the operational details and what owners need to be aware of, both in California and also out of state. So thank you, Scott. Thanks for making the time for us today, and then also at the end of the month. Yana, do you want to introduce Todd?
Yeah, so...
and yourself.
Well, I'm Yana Epps, Bobby's partner, and we're very excited to be bringing you guys additional value this month. And we're trying to keep our topics current and relevant to the situation at hand. So we thought we'd bring in people that could speak to how investing is changing. And I'm personally excited to see Todd Sulzinger, who is the CEO of Blue Elm Investments, talk about mobile home investing, because I think it's another strategy that, well, I'll let Todd speak to why I think it might be one of the more recession-proof investment strategies, and I think is relevant. So Todd, welcome, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, Yana and Bobby. I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to our meetup later this month. Yeah, I've been running Blue Elm Investments for a couple of years now, and we focus on buying turnaround mobile home parks, and currently have parks in Georgia and Tennessee. And one of the things I love about this space is its recession resistancy. In a time like this where people can't afford to potentially spend a lot of money on rent and might be looking to downsize from a nicer apartment or home into something more affordable, mobile home parks can be ideal places for them to live. And really, just from if you look at some of the jobs as they're coming back, oftentimes they're in lower wage jobs or more blue collar. And those are ones where our residents can rent a mobile home for in the $450 to $700 range compared to $1,000 plus for an apartment. So we really feel like with the upcoming recession that we're probably really already starting to feel right now that it's going to be a place that's going to be a safe investment going forward.
So Todd, what are some of the things that you'll be covering in your presentation?
Really talking about the history of mobile home parks, kind of how they work, how they're similar to other multifamily investments, but how they're different, and then just kind of walk through some of the key bullet points why, again, in addition to their recession resistancy, why I find them to be really strong, safe investments.
Perfect. Great. So again, guys, we're talking about the webinar meetup that we've moved to a virtual format. This is going to take place on April 27th at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm really excited about these two presenters. I think you guys will also find a lot of value in their presentations. Bobby, any last comments?
No, we just look forward to more learning, more networking, just having some great presenters like Todd and Scott join us. We'll bring you more information as we move along. But no, that's it. Hope to see a lot of you online.
And thank you for bearing with us as we pivot and try to transition at this time. Hopefully we'll be back to normal. We can have our face-to-face meetups again as soon as possible, guys. If you have not yet signed up for the meetup notifications, please do so in the link below.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. See you
Thank
next
you.
one. Bye. Bye.